Hey, welcome back traders. Now, I didn't do a live stream yesterday, but I do plan on doing one on the next Sunday coming up on the 30th. And it's going to be at 9:30 a.m. New York time. And I look forward to hanging out with you guys. So please come and join me unless something comes up. But right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. I'm going to do a little bit more back testing. Last time we went through non-farm payroll week through the 5th. We are on the 5th right now. Just taking a look at the daily chart. I haven't been looking at the weekly chart. I mean, I'll show you what it looks like, but it doesn't look that good. You can see like pretty much there's no inefficiencies or anything really of note. So that's why I've been sticking to the daily chart. Now, if you're looking at the daily, we are noting this daily busy. We've been consolidating in the upper portion, in the upper half, and now we've dropped down. We consolidated a little bit on the bottom half. You can see the bodies are starting to remain in the lower half of this fair value gap. So I'm thinking this has become inversion. It did not take out this low just yet, create the relative lows. We did rally back up on Friday into the lower portion. So as long as price can stay below this fair value gap, I'm going to be short bias, looking for these relative lows. There are these old relative lows down here as well. Those are going to be my targets going into this week. Here we are on the 1 hour on Monday, April 8th. Going to be backtesting the 8th through the 12th this week. And Monday morning, you can see these are the relative highs up here. If we start going into the upper half of this fair value gap and we start seeing displacement, support, all those bullish signs, then I'll be looking for these relative highs. But right now, that's not in the picture. You can see that we had this big drop. Then we went back to 50% of that daily fair value gap. We did not go past it, and we're consolidating at the lower half of that fair value gap. So what I'm looking for is these relative lows down here. Even though this low already took out the sell side by a little bit here, I'm still looking for price to come down and take this low. On the 15-minute, now on the buy side, price could take out this high or this high. I wouldn't want to see this high get taken because this is already established that it went to 50% of the daily fair value gap. I don't want to see this traded above, but taking out one of these highs, that's perfectly fine for a buy side liquidity sweep. And then I want to see price displace lower, going down below here and going for these lows. Here we are a little bit before 9:30. You can see that price has already taken out this high pre-market. It could come and take out this high as well. It doesn't have to, but it could. But I'm expecting 9:30 to maybe sweep up there one last time. And then I want to start seeing displacement lower, creating a fair value gap. Not sure if I guess I could just go ahead and take the very first one if the risk allows, or I could wait for a confirmation and then I'll be taking partial maybe at this first low, but I really do expect that lower low to get taken. So 9:30, we did not take out this high, but we started to get displacement lower. We created a fair value gap here, and we did drop down. This candle is not done forming just yet, but I anticipate that there will be a fair value gap here as well. Now, because this drop was pretty big, I don't think it's going to come back up to this fair value gap. It could. If it does, I think I could take an entry with this right here with my risk up at the high. It's going to be about 26 points. So this is totally reasonable. I'll take this fair value gap, but it may not get there. Now, if it does start, if this fair value gap remains intact and we start going back up and we create a confirmation fair value gap, I'll take the confirmation fair value gap. But I don't really want to take one down here because it's kind of a wide risk. If I do enter short here, my stop should still be above this up candle. All right, and just a few minutes later, we can see that this fair value gap did remain intact. However, we came down and took out this low. So I'm not really excited about taking this short on this fair value gap anymore since we already took out the sell side because we created relative highs. We could come and take out those highs before heading lower. So what I'm going to do is wait for a confirmation fair value gap and I'll try to enter on the confirmation fair value gap. Here at 10:35, you can see that we did come back up above this high, and like I said, the previous high over here did get swept. Right now it could go a little bit higher, but right now I'm just waiting to see a confirmation fair value gap. In fact, since we just took out the buy side, I want to see price create a fair value gap, go back up into the fair value gap, and then create another one going lower. I'll take that second one for a short. 11:15. I like how we went back up above this high one last time, and then we created a fair value gap. So here I'm looking at it as a breaker, a high, low, higher, high, displacement lower. So I'm looking at these two down candles as a breaker. I don't want to see price go above this down candle. There's also a fair value gap. I could have entered here, but I wanted to give this a little bit more time. If it creates a second fair value gap, I'll go ahead and take that confirmation fair value gap. Okay, it is 11:35, getting close to 12 o'clock, but we did start going, after we come back up to this SIBI, it did displace lower, back below this opening of this up candle. So there is a change in the state of delivery here as well. And there is a tiny fair value gap. Let me zoom in and show you. There is a small space, only like one tick gap right here, but still a gap. This candle is not done forming yet. If it does finish forming and we have this fair value gap still, I'm gonna go ahead and take a short entry here at 329 with my stop at above this candle here at 54.25. And I'm just going to be aiming for the low of the day for a first partial. Okay, so it is 12:15. My window of trading time is over. Although if you look at it back here, when we created this breaker and this fair value gap, this would have been a nice setup. Some people call this the unicorn setup. Could have taken a short here and just covered somewhere like maybe at the low of that fair value gap, or even like once this low gets pierced, you could take a first partial here. But I didn't do that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next day after taking a look at the end of the day action. So as you can see, the end of the day, nothing too exciting happened. It pretty much just consolidated at equilibrium for the rest of the afternoon. I do like how price is staying in the lower half of that fair value gap still. Remember, the purple line is 50% of the fair value gap on the daily. So going into the next day, I'm still going to be looking for shorts. Going into Tuesday morning, you can see that price has pretty much just been consolidating at the low of the daily fair value gap. We do have this high right here. I'm looking for price to go for a buy side liquidity sweep above this high. Today, I think it can even get above this high at 50% of the fair value gap, but I don't really want to see the bodies closing in the upper portion of the fair value gap. I would like to just see a wick and then have it reject very quickly to the downside. And for partials, I think here will be the first partial for sell side. It's also just above a 1 hour fair value gap. Here's a small one, but there is a fair value gap here. And of course, I will be aiming for these lows down here once again. Here we are a little bit after the 9:30 opening bell. We already swept this buy side liquidity pre-market. I don't really like how we went really close to 50% and that other high, but we did not take it out just yet. I'm going to give it some more time. I think we could have one more poke above these relative highs up here. So even if this fair value gap form, I'm not going to be taking it unless we start going back into it and getting confirmation. But I'm thinking that we could probably take this high one last time before heading lower. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more time. Here we are at 10:30. So we never really got above this high again. We did create a fair value gap here. It poked through a few times. I guess you could have tried to take this. I just did not like how we had the relative highs up there. Although there is the balanced price range here with the one candle down and one candle up. So I guess we could have put our stop above this up candle, above this balanced price range. But alas, another missed opportunity. Now, I do have lower targets, so I want to see price come back up into this inefficiency, and then we start creating another fair value gap for my entry. And I will zoom out to the 15-minute to see that we did take out this low, but remember, I'm aiming for these lows down there. 12:30 again, the window of time has expired, which is a little unfortunate because we are grinding up into this inefficiency. Like I said, now I think we could go lower, but it may be an afternoon setup, which, well, for this model, I'm not back testing the PM session, which is quite unfortunate. I think it is going to start displacing lower, of course, below this low, and hopefully it doesn't get to my target before tomorrow. And I still have this to shoot for tomorrow, but let's go ahead and take a look at what the price looks like at the end of the day. All right, so at the end of the action, we just pretty much consolidated in this range until the last, hour of trading, where we just rallied up, we made a new high of day, and I think we're making relative highs with 50% of the daily fair value gap. So I'm thinking tomorrow we're going to get a sweep of it, and then I want to start seeing displacement lower. But I guess, you know, it doesn't have to do that. We could start heading higher, but let's go ahead and see what pre-market looks like tomorrow morning. So Wednesday morning on the 1 hour chart. So I'm a little bit nervous on the short side, because what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing consolidation, and then this drop down here is manipulation. If you're thinking power of 3 manipulation leg, and we're going to be displacing up to the upside, expanding and distributing, maybe going for these relative highs up here. But as long as we can stay under this fair value gap, at least in the lower portion of it, there's still a chance that we go for these low targets right here. It's a little hard to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and be a little bit neutral, still slightly bearish, but I want to see what the lower time frame was going to look like as we go into 9:30. Okay, 8:30. I think today was a CPI day or something, because I had to zoom out to the 15-minute. We got this huge drop from like in the mid 400s to basically like a 400-point drop in 1 minute. Anyways, it did come back up to take out the buy side here, and then a big drop. So now I am definitely leaning to the bearish side. As long as we don't take out these lows, I think we can start heading to the downside. Now going into the 5-minute, what am I expecting as we go to 9:30? Well, we have this big imbalance here. I kind of want to see us come back up to rebalance some of this, maybe just stay in the lower 50% of this big fair value gap. But I want to see some sort of setup in this range before heading short and before we take out the sell side. If the sell side gets taken and then we start coming up, I'm not as excited about taking a short, but hopefully we don't get that. Hopefully this remains intact and we just grind up for a setup as we head to 9:30. All right, just before 9:30, I'll tell you what I want to see. I don't want to see these lows get taken. I don't want to see price coming down to take the sell side. 9:30, I want to see like a big rally up to maybe like halfway of this gap. Maybe chop around, then come back up one more time and then displace down. So I pretty much want to see like a breaker setup somewhere here in the middle of this fair value gap. All right, so 9:45. I'm watching today's action really closely. So 9:45, we did rally up, stayed in the lower half so far, got a pretty big drop down. I hope that we go one more run above this high and then create a breaker formation. If we do create a fair value gap and then get confirmation, we can go ahead and take that one. But I'm not going to take the first one if we create a fair value gap with this down candle. All right, took a while, 11 o'clock, pretty much just consolidated, no fair value gaps or anything. We did make a new higher high here, and looks like we are about to create a fair value gap here. I don't know, there may be a small one here if I zoom in, but it's kind of small. I'm not really going to count it. If this fair value gap can remain intact, I'll just go ahead and look at this one. Then I want to see price go into it and give me confirmation to enter a short in, aiming for this low. All right, 8:45, getting close to the end of my window, but I see we have a fair value gap here that was created. We went back up into it, and then we're going lower. We have a change in the state delivery here. I'm going to zoom in. I'm not quite sure if there's a fair value gap. Okay, it looks like we do have one, so I will go ahead and put an order short here with my stop up here, and we'll aim for the low. It's getting kind of close to my time window, so we'll see what actually happens. I may just take first partial and have it be done. Could just be a time stop, but hopefully I'll get tagged in, and then maybe like noon or by 12:15 we come and take out these lows, and maybe we make a run for this low as well to finish off the morning. Okay, it is 12:15. Typically I will be done here with a time stop. You can see that price did go back up to get me in short, and we are dropping a little bit. Did not take out this low just yet. We do also have this low and then this fair value gap here. I think we can at least get to this fair value gap, so hopefully we can make a drop here. I guess what I could do is set my stop for break even, because this looks like a potential fair value gap here. I could just put my stop right here, just below my entry, so at least I am break even. I'm gonna give it like maybe 15 or 30 more minutes just to see if it could come down, and then I'll take the rest, I'll take it. I think I may just take it all out here because it is after my time window. So I'm thinking maybe we consolidate for lunch and then make another run higher and then drop for the sell side in the afternoon. All right, and just a few minutes later, it did come back up to stop me out break even. A little unfortunate, but you know, even if I went ahead and closed it out at 12:15, like it would not have been that much. Definitely would not have been 1-to-1. You know, it's okay. I was trying to shoot for 1-to-1, and well, it just didn't happen. At least I got out breaking even. Let's see what the price action looked like at the end of the day, and we'll move on to the next day. So price pretty much did nothing for the rest of the day. We just consolidated all through the afternoon. Never got back out to this low that I was looking for. And you can see that if I didn't get out break even, I would have hit my stop loss anyways. So at least that is the bright side for today's action. But let's go ahead and see what opportunities we can find for Thursday. Thursday morning, 8:15. Now I'm looking at these relative lows down here because we did have that big drop. I'm guessing it was CPI, but we did not take out this low. So we do create relative lows here, relative equal lows. And by this consolidation, we are building a little bit of a buy side above here as well. I'm going to go ahead and just mark this one out, although there are some lower buy sides. We could come back into this inefficiency to explore a little bit more. And then also on the 1 hour, I'm noticing a fair value gap here with this drop. You can see we climbed up, and then here is our first 1 hour SIBI. So I'm going to go ahead and extend that and keep my eye on this. This could play an important role in the near future. If we start going back up into it and then seeing displacement, I'll use that PD array to look for a short below these relative lows. Okay, pretty exciting week, I guess. So 8:30, we got a big rally up above these relative highs to take out the buy side. Now, what I want to look for is I want to start seeing displacement to the downside. So it could come up a little bit higher, maybe touch the bottom of that daily fair value gap, the green box right here. And then I want to start seeing a setup for short to aim for, well, the low of the day and these relative lows down here. I'm going to keep this 1 hour fair value gap here. It could be used as a reclaimed fair value gap. We'll see, because it is within this large gap. Just before 9:30, we did not touch the lower part of that daily fair value gap. So what I want to see at 9:30 is I want to see a wick into this green fair value gap, and then I want to see displacement down lower, and then maybe it can bump into this 1 hour fair value gap on the top side. But eventually, I want to see it, you know, go through it and then use it as a reclaimed fair value gap to look for lower prices. So far, 10:26, 9:30 didn't give me that big pop that I was looking for. We pretty much just chopped around, and then we started dropping lower back into that 1 hour fair value gap. Right now, it is using it as an inversion fair value gap, which is fine. Going back into the SIBI now. What I want to start seeing is in the next like 30 minutes or so, I want to see it go through this fair value gap and then come back up and use it as resistance, use it as a reclaimed fair value gap. Okay, so 12:15, my window of time is closed. Nothing really panned out to how I was anticipating. This was used as an inversion fair value gap, but then pretty much just consolidated, chopped around. You can see there was no inefficiencies here on the 5-minute. We went up to take out a new high, make a new high of the day, and we went back to explore that daily fair value gap, kind of like how I expected it, how I wanted it at 9:30, but it waited until lunchtime to do that. So now what I'm expecting in the afternoon session is for it to start going down and displace below this low, and maybe even making a new low of day. But unfortunately, you know, I'm not trading the PM session, but let's go ahead and see if my anticipation actually pans out, or do we just go higher from here? So we do actually, you can see we tap the lower part of the daily fair value gap, and we just started going higher. In fact, now we just closed the day above 50% of this daily fair value gap. So we could be reversing. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at a little bit higher time frame to see what's going on. You can see that we've already reversed all that drop back on Wednesday. So now I think the cards are in play to go for these relative highs. So going into Friday, I'm going to look for a rally to these relative highs. I'm going to flip to the long side. All right, Friday. This is the last day of the week. I'm feeling pretty good about today. So what we can see is if you look at here, this is Monday. Look at the price action for the week. We pretty much had consolidation. Wednesday, we went down, take out the sell side, failed to take out this low. So that's kind of signaling to us that, hey, we don't really want to go for the sell side, consolidate it, and then we started going higher up into this fair value gap on the daily, the upper portion. We've made this fair value gap here. We came back down. We are currently in it right now. I want to see displacement up. I want to start seeing fair value gaps, and then I want to start seeing prices go for these relative equal highs here. So looking at the week, I'm kind of seeing the power of 3 of accumulation here, manipulation, and then we're starting to expand. And as we expand, we are going to distribute. So I'm looking for longs going into today. On the 15-minute, ignore all the stuff down here. I'm looking at this fair value gap. This was a busy. We went down into it pre-market at 7 o'clock. So I'm wanting to start seeing expansion. We have a small fair value gap here as well. And I want to see this hold up. I don't really want to take out this low. This is good enough. You can see the body is pretty much hanging out at the top half of this 15-minute fair value gap. We have all these buy side right here built in. That's definitely going to be the first target. And then we have a higher target. Remember, that was going to be, if I zoom out, those relative equal highs on the 1 hour. Whoops, let me go back a little bit more. Those relative highs on the 1 hour, you can see all of these relative equal highs here. I'm actually going to go ahead and mark this one out. This is going to be like a, milestone to go ahead and take a second partial before we go for these relative highs as our final target. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this morning plays out. Okay, a little bit for 9 o'clock. So far, I'm not happy with the price action here. I wanted to see this 15-minute fair value gap hold up. We've traded through it to the bottom of that daily fair value gap. I think we're just going to have to wait right now. I want to see 930 take out this high. If it can do that, that will signal to me that we could be heading for these highs up here. But right now, I'm not really happy how we traded all the way to the bottom of that daily fair value gap. So just going to go ahead and give it a little bit more time. Even if I zoom out, I don't think I will be looking for anything short at this point. But we could if we get confirmation here. But it's not looking so well for the longs right now. So 930 didn't really give me anything that I was anticipating. We went back into that 15-minute fair value gap and we started dropping. This is potentially a 5-minute fair value gap. Going back to the 1 hour, I went ahead and marked out this busy. We did like wick into it. Now we are kind of coming back into it. I hope we don't close below it. Ideally, we don't even close in it at all. So from here, I would like to see more of a displacement to the upside and get above this 15-minute busy before. Okay, so 11 or 10:45, we have traded through that 1 hour busy. Not really happy right now with the longs, and looking on the higher time frame, I'm not exactly sure I will want to go short here either. I mean, we could be going for these lows, but I'm not really seeing like, I mean, we could be coming back to this fair value gap. I think today may be another no trade day and just letting price run. Price has not been very nice for like the past few weeks. So just gonna let this play out, and still just gonna keep my eyes on longs. And if I see anything, I'll let you guys know and I'll jump in. But unfortunately, today may be a no trade day again. All right, so 12:15, done for the day. Didn't really do much this week. So we did trade back up to that 1 hour fair value gap, but I don't really see a setup for longs or for shorts really. So unfortunately, a non-eventful week, honestly. Had some wild news moves, but I guess that's just how it is. Now, if you look at the spreadsheet, let me pull it up here for you guys. You can see we took that break-even trade. I think that was on Wednesday, but we went like maybe 2 weeks with no trades in the spreadsheet. And again, this week, pretty much no trades again. So hitting kind of a long stretch of, non-ideal trading conditions. So, I think backtesting this, you see how long of a wait. You have to wait for those good setups. And you know, it goes to show you that when you're trading live, try to be patient. And you may need to be more patient than you think. I mean, I thought like, hey, you know, I can at least, you know, wait 2 weeks, you know, but it's been 3 right now, and I'm getting a little itchy fingers, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and until I see you guys next time, safe trading.